So today's golf lesson might kind of completely blow your mind, and it might be something that you've never considered. You didn't maybe understand that well, but it's going to transform the way that you hit the golf ball. Now, the reason I'm doing this video for you is because I recently gave a lesson to Tom and this exact topic came up. He had this exact fault, we changed it, and he started to hit the ball so much better in a really short space of time. So I'm going to share with you what that was and how you can use it in your golf swing. I want to talk to you about the delivery position. So this is in the downswing. We would class the delivery position as when the golf club reaches around about level with the ground. Clearly from there you have got milliseconds and you're about to hit the golf ball, so it's pretty important that we get that position correct. So if I took my setup to this golf ball and just put a line on the top of my hands here so we can see how close they are to my body and how close they are to the golf ball, where do you think those hands would be as I was at delivery position? Would they be the same distance from me? Would they be closer to me? Would they be further away from me? Be interested to get your thoughts. Because what will actually happen at delivery position is those hands would be, if I go from setup delivery, those hands would be significantly further away from me. Let me show you that again. There's my setup. Hands are nice and close to me. At delivery position, they would be further away. And this was the exact concept that we're working through with Tom. Now, if we look at some great players that you'll see on the screen here, I'm going to show you some pictures of their setup and some pictures of their delivery position. And just look at that. The hands are all further away at delivery than they were at setup. All of them do this. So I'm going to go through why that's the case so you can really understand it. And I'm going to give you some really simple drills that I did with Tom that can really, really help. So many golfers get this wrong. You might be the case. What I'm going to do, take my setup. Now, what have I got present at delivery position? Well, I've got some wrist set, which is this movement here. Okay, this is my wrists working up. Notice where the hands go when I do that. They don't really move closer to me. They don't really move further away from me. They just stay in the same place. We have also, however, got some arm rotation. Now, when I add the arm rotation, look what happens. It's that pushes my hands away. So it's the folding of my arms which creates that movement. So why is that really important? Well, we need to do a little demonstration, and we're going to do that from standing upright. So if I stand here, upright, I'm going to need a couple of kind of horizontal lines. I'm going to put one on the club, one on the hands. Now what we notice is that those are not at the same height. Okay, the club head is clearly higher than my hands. So when I make a backswing, I have got to either get the golf club to come down onto the level of my hands, or as I make a backswing, I've got to get the hands to go up onto the level of the golf club. And that is what happens in a golf swing. You will notice when I make my golf swing, how when I get to here and I start to fold, my hands go higher. They come up to join the height of the golf club. That's really important. What that means is, as I come down, they're still higher or further away from me. If we do that from here, look where the hands are, backswing, they go higher. As we return, they're still higher. And as we release the club, they drop back down to where they were. That's how you make a golf swing. It's all to do with your arm rotation. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Chris, I'm going to shank it. If you're telling me that you want my hands to be further away at this delivery position, I'm just going to hit everything off the hosel. Well, trust me, you won't. You'll actually start to hit it more solid. You'll have a better hand path and you'll start to hit better shots with better strikes. So here's the first little exercise I want you to do. You'll notice that I've had this little golf ball box down here. Anything like this would work. It just needs to be something which got a pretty straight or flat edge. And I'm just going to place it on the ground. Really simple. Then what I'm going to do, take a setup with my club head just inside of that box. So you can see that the toe of my club is really quite close. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go wrist set, arm rotation, puts my hands further away from me. And all I want to try and do now is try and land the club on the ground. Really simple. Up, hands go out, club goes in, land the club. Up, out, land the club. Now, if I was going to shank it, which is what maybe many people think, then I would be clattering that box. The reason I don't shank it is because the reason the hands go out is because my arms are rotated. But for me to hit the ball, they have to re-rotate or unrotate. So as the club is going down towards the ground, look where the hands are going. In. the hands are going in. So here's another really key point. I would really want my club path to be pretty neutral. That's key. That doesn't mean my hands should be traveling down towards the target at the same time. So again, I'm going to throw up some videos here of some great players that you're probably going to recognize. Look at the direction their hands are traveling as they make contact. Up and left. Okay, so that little exercise is teaching us that. It's teaching us that from here, where the hands are out, yes, if my hands stayed out, then I'd hit that box. But when I land the club, my hands are actually moving up and around because of what my arms are doing. Now, all of these movements are really key to get you into a right arm delivery position. Try that exercise, you'll find that. Watch what happens to my trail arm when I do this move correctly. Okay, I'm going to take my lead hand off. Look where my elbow is. It's in front of my hip. I've got some space, and that allows me to put some pressure on the golf ball, get some shaft lean, have my hands forward, deal off the club, all of those things that are going to give me that really solid strike. So many golfers, wrist set, when they have the arms rotated, the hands don't move away. Here. Now look at where my right arm is. It's now stuck to my side. It's not in front of my hip. And then from here, guess what? I can't do those things. I can't get the shaft forward. I can't get the hands forward. So what am I going to do? I'm going to release the club early this way. And that's going to give me shallow attacks. It's going to give me poor strikes, high, weak ball flights, all of those things that I desperately want to avoid. So if you're someone who from the top is trying to get your hands nice and close to your body, your trail arm's going to get stuck and you're going to really start to struggle to get any kind of contact. So here's the little drill I want you to do. And I gave this one to Tom. You can see me doing this drill with Tom. We get him to set up and we put an alignment stick on the ground, pretty equidistant between his toes and the golf ball, as you can see there. Now, I'm going to try and explain this how I'm seeing it. It will make more sense when you set up, so I'd love you to go and create this. When I look down, my eyes see my hands, and to me, it looks like my glove hand is somewhere between my feet and my heels here. That's from my viewpoint. When I make my backswing, and I come down to a delivery position, I now see that my hand is very close to the alignment stick. So it's more outward than it was at setup. Now that's from my viewpoint. So here you can see that it started, what I see is in between my heels. At delivery, it was more out. So this is what we've got Tom to do. We're going to make a backswing, find a delivery, hands are more out. And then I wanted him to, what I said, snap the hands back in. So that was him thinking about the grip end of the club, which as you can see points down towards the green. And I want him to snap that back towards his lead thigh. So as he does that, he can collect the golf ball. So we go setup, hands are now more over the stick, snap the grip back to my thigh, and we collect the ball. Now I'm not expecting those to go particularly far. They're not going to be particularly great ball flights. But do you know what happened? I struck it really well. I got a divot after the golf ball. I got compression. I got great impact. I got all those things that I really want in my golf swing. We just did it at a slightly slower speed. So what did I have in that little demonstration? I had so many good things happening. I had my right arm in position. I had my hands moving up and left, which is great for speed. I had my path pretty neutral. I struck it well. Everything was present. If I try to hit a shot where my hands get really close, as so many golfers are trying to do, from here, whoa, that is a lot more difficult. I mean, I landed the club way before the ball. I just couldn't get into that good impact position. Why? Because my elbow was stuck. Why was my elbow stuck? Well, I didn't appreciate, or I wasn't trying to get my hands more out into that space that we need. So ultimately what you can do is you can just create a little practice station like this. I've got my little reference here, I've got my reference here, and I can go in ahead and hit some shots, but I might just want to have a little rehearsal first of hands being out, or I might even want to do some rehearsals this way just to get that feeling of where my hands want to be, and then I can go ahead and hit some shots. So that might be a different concept for you. The hands should always be further away from you at delivery than they were at setup. Give that a go. It's going to start helping your ball striking, help with your overall shots.